Hey, it's Dave here, and I've got Deborah Wood joining me. It's a long-term driver, and we're going to talk today about something that affects each and every one of us all the time, which is fatigued driving. It's dangerous, it's scary, and we're going to share some stories and some experiences we've had, some do's and don'ts, and hopefully get some good information out there. On that note, Deb, you've been with us since 2017. Sorry, Deborah.
No, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Sorry.
It's too short.
She warned me and I did it
No,
anyway.
I mean, it's
but no, I mean, you've been with us since 2017.
Right.
So you've been like, what, 5-6 years?
yes.
How long have you been driving total?
I got my CDL in 2007.
Okay, so you've been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah, a little while.
Wow. So is it something
like-
you always wanted to do, or is it just
No,
something that just kind of happened?
It just happened. I wanted to drive a bus. I was working at the airport, and I wanted to drive one of the big buses. And
Then you found out you didn't like kids?
Well, I didn't. No, I didn't want to drive with. But I didn't. I never even drove a bus. I went online, and then I started seeing the truck because you had to get a CDL-B, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, you had to get like a chauffeur. There's an extra training to go with
Right.
it when you're hauling people.
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
But-
and they're they're not reticulate. Is that what that's called? Reticulated? Like truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Class B. So anyway, I went online to look at CDLs and saw the big trucks and
Yeah.
I thought I can do that. And then I got out there and was scared to death, but it worked out.
I thought about doing a Class B, and then when I went to the school, it was the same cost to do a Class A.
Right.
And I'm like, so why not just do Class A?
Right.
You can do A and B that way. And so that's,
Yes.
and then I ended up, it was just one of those things. But anyway,
So I did it. Mhm.
so we've both been driving for many years.
Right.
Have you always done like over the road, or did you do dedicated local?
I did dedicated when I first started with Continental.
Okay.
I did the Virginia to Fort Worth. That's where I'm out of.
Okay.
For about 2.5 years. I did the
okay.
Mount Crawford back down, and yes, and that doing something like that, you get real complacent because and then that's when fatigue does start setting in.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to say. I run dedicated. I run from Streetsboro, Ohio, down to Gaffney, South Carolina, and back.
Yes.
Same road. I mean, outside I go around detours and things from time to time, but you get real comfortable going up and down and seeing the same stuff,
Exactly.
and you can get kind of tunnel vision, get complacent. You start getting fatigued.
Yes.
Speaking of fatigue driving, I loved driving. It was always a challenge. Doing the trip planning when I was doing over the road and stuff, and just the whole process of trying to get to the shipper, trying to get loaded, getting to the receiver, was invigorating.
Yes.
And then seeing, how well can I get from here to here, and what's my
Yes.
fuel mileage? Am I making good time?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
things that
Something
keep your
different.
brain going. And but a few years into it, I got on the dedicated and did that for several years, and then all of a sudden I just started getting tired.
Right.
And I'm like, at first I thought I was getting a little sick. I thought maybe
Right.
I was fighting off a cold or something. And then I get a little more tired. All right, I'm gonna make sure I get better sleep. I started sleeping more and more and more, and no matter how much I slept, I could not stay awake. And it got to the point where, how you start getting real foggy headed, and you'll start like the lines on the road start feeling like you're going like this,
Or sometimes you feel like you're awake, your eyes are open, but you're not there.
Your head's
it's like
not-
your brain's dead or something, and then you're like, whoa,
Yeah, you're like in the fog, and you're going,
Yes. Yes.
Well, yeah. That started happening, and I literally started talking to other drivers that were on the route with me and saying, "Hey, I'm going to pull over here and take a nap. When you get up here, can you wake me up?"
Right.
And they would come wake me up, and we would drive, and I'd still get tired. I'm going, "What's going on?" Well, I finally went to the doctor, and I ended up getting diagnosed with sleep apnea. I have mild to moderate sleep apnea. I never knew. I'm not overweight. I'm not I'm not unhealthy.
Did you get the machine?
Yeah, I had to get a CPAP machine. Now, this was before the DOT wanted you to get
Oh,
one, before
yeah.
it became a big deal. This was years before that.
Right.
And it took me about 3 months to go through the process and get the machine, and I got it. And I thought it was a load of crap. I thought, there's
really?
no way. I
heard it's great.
I was very skeptical, you know. And then I got the machine, and I'm like, well, I'll try it. The first night I used it, I woke up the next day, and my head was clear. I was wide awake. I had energy. I'm like, and I just realized, you know what? Wow, I haven't felt like this in years.
Right.
And so now I use the machine. I have a machine in my truck.
And you're married, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Those things are kind of funky looking.
Well, you know,
I heard they've upgraded them.
they have different ones for different sizes.
Right, right.
But you know, I have to have it. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Yeah,
And if it makes you sleep great, you know, I'm a horrible sleeper, and I don't sleep for very long at a time.
Well,
and so I like to stop and take naps. But the logs the way everything is now, the new log, or the logs.
logbook is your time clock, and so you really got to be careful.
Yeah,
if
the
you stop and
e-logs, you know, I mean,
you stop and take a nap, your clock's still running.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. And I was the type of person where I like to sleep. I mean, they start when back in the logbook days. You know, I'm not going to go into that, but but you know, you still had your 10 hours.
Yeah,
you could, you weren't
could
so
kind of play with it a little bit and work it to your advantage when you needed to stop.
When you needed to stop, yeah.
And it wouldn't screw your day up.
Exactly. But yeah, because well, anyway, we won't get into that. But my rule now is if I yawn more than 3 times, I get off the road. I mean, just for me, just for me, because I know that means I'm tired.
You're tired,
you know. But and the 10-hour thing, I mean, I know that you can do other things in your 10-hour break, of course, besides sleep. I know people that can go right in the back and just crash out, or they can take power naps where they're asleep for 30 minutes.
I can't do it. If I try to take a power nap, they always say, "Oh, pull over for 20." If I tell you, pull over for 20 minutes, take a power nap, I want a 3-hour power nap.
Yes.
Because 20 minutes later, when I wake up, I'm going to be even worse. I'm going to be more tired.
Exactly.
That's how that doesn't work for me.
Exactly.
Well, some of the things that I used to do to try and stay focused, and some of the things that you guys may want to try, you get a support group of other drivers, friends, family members. Over the road drivers. We drive all hours of the day and night.
Yes.
So I had people that I knew that were up all night, that were third shifters. I had family members. I had a core group of people, probably maybe about 5 to 10, that I knew I could call at any time.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're getting tired, if you're lost, if you start getting sleepy, and you're still got an hour to drive, and you can't, and you've got to get there, give me a call.
Yeah.
Well, I would call
and
people.
that does. You can drive miles and not even realize you've driven that just by talking on the phone.
Yeah, you get on the phone, all of a sudden, boom, the hour's up like that, and now you're there, now you're done, you're safe, and now you've got time to rest and get ready for the next round or whatever. I used to roll the window down a lot, turn the radio.
I would, and then I just got used to that. Yeah, I'd slap myself in the face.
I did that all the time. I'd go.
And it'd wake me up for a minute, and I'd go, who slapped me? I just get mad and go.
I literally would drive over.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Getting out and walking helps. It makes it last a little bit longer for me, but I still get tired again.
Rolling the window down, it worked for a bit, and then it didn't.
Right.
The radio worked as long as I was listening to something that
that's what I do.
Something fun.
I do the audiobooks.
Yeah, I used to do those.
I do audiobooks because I don't like people, so I don't talk on the phone very much. And I drive at night, and my family, they're all sleeping. So, and I know other drivers, of course, but we get into discussions anyway.
Yeah.
So, but audiobooks, but it's got to be an interesting audiobook.
Yeah.
So I have like 5 or 6 of them, and that I'll start listening, and if they're very boring, then I'll go, I can't listen to that.
Some of the readers are like real monotone, and and I used to do the same thing. Like, nope, I can't listen to that. Got to go to another one. I found like 3 or 4 different authors that I really loved, and I would download a bunch of their books because they would use the same readers a lot. And then
I do that.
But yeah, I used to get out. I'd pull over and I'd get out and I'd walk around the truck and trailer 3 or 4 times.
That's a short-term thing, though.
Yeah,
usually.
even when it was cold, because you get out.
That's
I wouldn't
even
put a
better.
coat on or anything. I'd get out and just freeze, because I'm not getting out because I need to walk. I'm getting out because I need to wake up.
Yeah. Well, what's amazing to me is when it's time for my 10-hour break, and I'll be yawning, and I'm so glad it's my 10-hour break, and then I'll stop and go inside and use the restroom, do whatever you do, come back out, and I can't go back to sleep. I can't go to sleep.
I have to wind,
like 2
down.
hours.
I can't jump out of the seat and go right to sleep.
I know.
I have to kind of
even if I'm in the
down.
seat, I think it's the motion of the truck.
It might be,
know,
the
that's
rocking
done
back
it.
and forth, the air ride, and
Right.
yeah.
So,
but fatigue driving is no joke.
Oh, it is very dangerous.
It's very scary. It's worse than drunk driving.
Yes.
It's a big deal, and you used to see drunk drivers from time to time, and you could tell if they're a drunk driver.
Oh, I see them on
And
the
I
road.
I used to get so upset, like, oh, there's somebody driving home from the bar, 2:33.
I know.
But then I'd see like a truck driver, and I know he's not drunk, and I know he's tired, and you see him swerve it, and I feel so bad for the guy.
I do too. I'm the same way. Or whenever I see one that's gone off the road or something, or a truck that's gone, I said, oh, they fell,
Yeah, they fell asleep. And you hear stories all the time. I nodded off just for a second and hit the guardrail, and
it doesn't. I've done some things that were. I was on the phone with a friend of mine one time. This was pretty bad, and I was driving. I went, "Am I on the phone?" Because I heard him going, "Hello," and I was. I had my. I was like, I heard hello, hello, and I was, and my eyes are open, but
you're just in la la land.
Because I was like, I cussed myself. What are you doing? Stay awake. Quit closing. Don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleep.
Yep.
And they go, hello, and I said, am I on the phone? And then I went, am I driving? Oh my gosh! I said, I'm done. I'm done.
It's really scary how far disconnected you can get from driving or doing anything when you get really tired, because you're not going to win. If your body's saying it needs sleep, it's going to get to sleep.
Right.
You're going to shut down at some point.
Right.
And I've gotten to where, vision gets real blurry.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you feel like you're being straight on the road, but the lines are just weaving.
Right.
The lines aren't doing this. That's you going like this and not realizing it because you're sleepy. I've seen you get the tunnel vision where it feels like the lines are crossing.
Yes.
Do you ever see like shadows that weren't there?
Or things are.
Yeah, looked like something jumping from the truck.
That guy the coffee guy that has the little donkey. I saw him on the side of the road one time. I was like, what? And I looked at
Juan Valdez.
Yes. I see all kinds of weird stuff if I'm tired. I was like, what is he doing on the road, rocking his little donkey?
I've actually seen like shadows of things where it looked like something jumping from the truck.
Yeah.
And it's just my eyes and my.
Or it looks like the trees are coming over the road.
Yes. Yeah,
and I'm like, why are those trees so close? And there's not, the trees are just.
It's your vision just kind of tunneling in.
It is.
Because you're getting so tired.
Right.
And these are.
Or you'll stop and you'll stop and you're like, there's nothing there. You'll put on your brakes.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I?
Yeah, I actually slammed on the brakes one time because I thought there was an animal on the road, and it was nothing. Nothing was there, but my mind did it.
And your distance is bad. I'm thinking, is that truck close? The brake lights of another or tail lights of another truck.
Yeah, your depth perception gets thrown off. But these are very real, very serious things that will happen when you get fatigued while driving.
It's amazing what your brain is doing. Your brain's asleep.
Yeah, your brain is just kind of saying, hey, we need to shut down, but your body's in go mode. But these are some of the things that you will experience, and they're very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very scary. And a lot of times, there were times where I was wide awake, perfectly clear-minded, focused, and just like that, boom, you get tired. Sometimes you just don't know when it's going to happen.
And a big time for me is right before dawn.
Yes, yes.
It's like I want to say 6, but it
like
depends on what time of
4,
year it
5,
is.
6 o'clock. As they say that's the worst.
Because I drive at night. I love driving at night.
I do too. I do too.
So but right before the sun. So if I make a point of trying to stop about that time, not for just for a little break at a rest area or wherever. It's hard to now because there's hardly any place to park.
Yeah,
but if you can just pull into the fuel lane somewhere and pull up and go inside, get a cup of coffee, whatever.
Yep. Yeah.
That's that helps.
And it's a good thing because about that time of day, the fuel lanes are usually wide open. You're not jammed up with trucks.
Right.
And if all you're going to be is like 5-10 minutes, enough to just kind of
if you can do it before you realize, whoa, I'm so tired. You just make a habit of doing it about that time if you drive at night. It's good because you don't, because you're revigorated a little bit to do the last 4 or 5 hours or whatever you got.
Or last hour, right?
Yeah,
or 2 or whatever. But yeah, so now I use a CPAP machine. I use it I have one in my truck now, and I have one at home, and I use them every night. And this was before you
have to use it every night? I mean,
there were times where I miss.
I know when their doctor prescribed or whatever. I had a friend who and he couldn't get off of it because they were doing a test. I mean, like
it monitors how much you use it, and then when you do your DOT physical, you have to bring that in and say here, and you have to be 70% or higher on usage, which is equivalent to 4 hours, 22 days a month.
Oh, okay.
So you can miss a day here and there, or like some days I might sleep for 8 hours. Well, that's equivalent.
Oh, yeah.
So but if I miss the next day, okay, that's still average of 4 hours a day.
You don't toss and turn or anything. I mean, is it a big contraption? I don't even know.
No,
or is it just a mask?
it's a little box about yay big. And it's got a tube on it, and then it runs and it goes over your face, and you.
Nice.
That's it. It's it's kind of like the COVID masks. It's kind of like that. It just goes like
but
that.
It's got to be like a gas
Well, yeah,
mask.
it's got
like a gas mask.
Yeah, because it's got to have an air tube to blow the air through.
Oh, of course. I understand.
But yeah, so I use.
Are they loud? They used to be pretty loud.
No,
not any louder than some snoring.
No, not loud at all. But yeah, I mean, I used to wake up before I got the CPAP machine. I used to wake up 3, 4, 5 times a night.
I do.
To go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And then I used to have real bad leg cramps that would wake me up, and I'd be in tears. It would hurt so bad.
Wow.
And there was 2 or 3 other things. And then when I got the CPAP machine and started using it, all that stuff went away. And I asked the doctor. And
leg cramps and everything?
Yeah. He said those are all symptoms of sleep apnea.
Wow.
He said you weren't waking up because you had to go to the bathroom. You were waking up because you were having a sleep apnea. And then once you woke up, you don't realize you're having it because you're awake now. Your body's going, hey, you're awake. Go to the bathroom.
He wouldn't be saying that if he was going through menopause. So.
Yeah.
Let him try to pull that one on me.
but yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is symptoms of that.
Yeah. Oh, sleep is very important. It's as important as eating or what you eat and everything else.
Exercise, everything. Yeah.
You got to get your sleep.
So, but yeah, I mean, some of the things. If you find yourself getting fatigued and you got that little, you still got an hour or so to go and you can't stop, find somebody to call. Work out between family, friends, other drivers. Work out a safety net of people that you can call around the clock to help keep you focused. I guarantee you, it wouldn't matter any driver you call if they're driving along, and you call them up and say, "Hey, I got an hour and a half. I'm going to be there. I'm getting really tired, and I need to stay focused." There's not a driver out there that wouldn't talk you all the way.
Or just get off the road.
Yeah,
if you're tired, there's no load that's more important than
exactly. As long as you can get off the road safely.
Yeah. Don't do it while you're sleeping.
Don't stop in the middle of the road. But
don't fall asleep, then get off the road.
I mean, that would be the most important thing. Is if you start doing that. Yeah, if you can safely get off the road, get to a truck stop, get somewhere safe to park. To take a nap or rest if you got the time, absolutely.
Right.
Number one, top, do that without question. I'm talking about like if you're in that position where you can't.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but pull over somewhere safe, get out, walk around the truck, smack yourself.
I think the last hour is probably the most important because you think I can make it one more hour, but it only takes a second to to go off the road or to run into
Well,
somebody.
yeah, and not only that, but usually the last hour, half hour of the trip, you're not just on the freeway going straight.
Right.
Now you're looking for the third red light, and I got to turn left, and then I got to go down 3 blocks and turn right at Elm Street. Now you've got to start focusing on directions
Right.
and city driving.
That helps me though.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm, it's when I'm just doing the same thing going down the highway, that's when I start going,
Yeah, but I mean, you get so tired sometimes.
You don't
now all of
realize
a sudden you've got to start looking for specific
exits
directions
or whatever.
It could make it even
Right,
harder.
right.
But yeah, I mean, roll your window down, turn your radio on. Those are very short-term things, and they may and may not work. Getting out and walking around is really
Yeah.
good. Like I said, I love how you brought up slapping because I used to do that.
No, I did.
I just
I did.
and that didn't sting enough. Let me.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm like, harder.
Because I really got to wake up here, Yeah.
Right. I know. I mean, everything.
We're laughing about it, but
It wasn't funny at the time.
No, it's not funny.
It's
And
not.
I'm dead serious. I did the same thing, just going, wow. So I'm not the only one driving around the road
No, slapping
myself.
yourself. And when I see another truck like start veering off or something, and I'll honk at them, and I feel kind of bad, but somebody would honk at me, and I'd go, oh, and it,
Yeah.
wait
Yep.
a minute, and I'd go, what am I doing?
But
But
as
that's
long-
at the beginning of the
Just go
sleeping stuff.
Beep, beep,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't go,
lay on there, horn. You don't do that.
I scared you
Scare
away.
the crap out. Yeah, because if you're half asleep and somebody lays on the air horn, that's
Yeah, I don't.
That could even be more dangerous for you. So
You don't realize you're going to sleep. I mean, you don't
No.
you just don't even realize it
Nope.
until it's,
until it's too late.
Until you're slapping yourself in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you just get to that point, you need to get off the road.
Yeah, another thing you do, if you got gum, snacks, sometimes it's like, hey, you know what? Let me just grab a little bag of chips.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll just eat one chip. And then don't guzzle them down, but
Don't fool yourself.
Make them,
Full
make
force.
them last,
Uh-huh.
and then that way, hey, for the next half hour, I'm actually eating something. I'm
Yeah.
doing something more than driving,
Right.
And that will help you stay focused.
Don't count sheep or anything like that.
No. Now, on the flip side of it, like you said, sometimes you're exhausted. You get to the truck stop or get to the destination. It's like, you go in, you use the restroom, you do what you got to do, you come back out. Now all right, I got 6 hours, 7 hours, I need to sleep. And then you get back in that bunk and you're going,
You're wide awake. I know.
oh, wow, I didn't realize how many dots there were
Or you
on
start,
my
or you
ceiling.
mess around on your
Yeah.
phone or whatever,
Yeah.
and-
So, some of the things you can do to combat that is, at certain point, towards the end of your day, cut out caffeine.
Oh, yeah.
No more Mountain Dew, no more coffee, no more energy drinks.
Yeah.
If you need to sip on something, I sip on water. I have Mountain Dew, and I do use energy drinks from time to time, but I also have a cup of ice water.
Yeah, water is very important.
Yeah, and so I'll sip, when it gets closer to the end of the day, I'll sip on that.
Oh, yeah.
And
I drink a lot of water.
when you do...
That's probably why I don't have leg cramps.
There you go. But when you do get to where you could get some sleep, make sure you get yourself enough time to get a good amount of sleep.
Right. Yes.
Don't sit back there in the bunk watching TV or playing on your phone.
You only got an hour left of your break.
Oh crap! My break's
I
up
gotta
in
get some
2
sleep.
hours. I better go to sleep. Yeah, you don't want to do
and
that.
then you get up and you're tired.
I mean, like you said, I don't need 10 hours of sleep.
Right.
I function very well on about 6 to 6.5 hours. I can go with 5.5.
Right.
But it's iffy. If I hit that 6 hour mark to 6.5, I'm awake, I'm energized, I'm ready to go, So I've got 3-4 hours of that 10-hour break where I can eat, get a shower, read a book, watch a movie, wind down.
Get tired again.
There you go, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, but you want to kind of get into a habit of make sure you take care of yourself when you've got the time to take care of yourself, so that when it is time to sleep, you can sleep. Worst thing you can do, have you ever done this? Have you ever gotten so tired that you couldn't sleep at all?
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, and you're hours into your break and you're still wide awake.
Yeah,
even
all
though
the time. I do that now.
Your whole body
Terrible.
feels tired. You know you're exhausted.
And sleep isn't like you can't say, oh, I'll get 10 hours next time because I only got 2 hours this time. It doesn't work.
You cannot split log your sleep. It doesn't work that way.
That's right. That's right.
You can't do the 8 and 2, 7 and 3.
Because I'm the way. If I sleep too much, I'm tired.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I get too much sleep, it's almost just as bad as not getting enough. But most of the time, if I get too much sleep, I just have a headache all day.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I just feel like I'm like
Leg cramps, headache.
Yeah, I'm a mess.
You're a mess.
I'm a mess.
Slapping yourself. Yeah.
It's all part of the job.
It is. You know.
Hey, if you
they
drive
think
truck,
it's just holding a steering wheel.
you drive truck as long as we have, you start beating yourself up in all kinds of ways. But,
It's true.
All right. Well, any closing thoughts? Any let's say, what's your top 3 things you do to stay focused?
Well, I listen to audiobooks, interesting ones. I mean, I try to, something. If the minute it starts getting monotonous or boring, then and don't do any dedicated. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't listen to that.
Yeah, and if you just start yawning is my trigger. I mean, if I'm yawning and my eyes are watering, I know.
So you know. Okay.
I know. That's before I start doing the.
Yeah.
And I want to get off the road before that happens. So so if you know you're tired, just it doesn't matter. Don't worry about getting in trouble or whatever. Just get off the road because you're going to get a lot more trouble if you're.
Yeah, like you said. Yeah, like you said. No load is worth damaging the truck, the trailer,
or yourself,
or your life,
someone else,
or anybody else out there at all. I mean, Yeah. The shipper's still going to be there 5 hours later if you take a nap.
And nobody's gonna. If you call and say, "Hey, I'm tired," they're not gonna argue with you.
No. They're
if they do, then just tell them, "Well, too bad, I'm tired."
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
But it's good if you're gonna be late. Call your dispatch. Just say, "Hey, I'm tired. I can't. I feel unsafe to drive," and then just get off the road.
Yeah. And get off the road, find somewhere safe to sit,
and take a nap.
But like I said, take care of business. Don't play on your phone. Don't be texting and playing video games or watching a TV. No, get your rest.
Right.
Get bathroom.
Take advantage of your 10-hour break as much as you can.
Yeah, get your. Believe me, there's plenty of time to watch TV and do other things.
Oprah will be there tomorrow. Oprah. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't watch TV very much. I don't have one about
Netflix will be there.
Oh,
tomorrow.
Netflix! There you go. That's more.
There you go. We gotta get updated.
Oprah. I don't even know who watches Oprah truck driving.
This is not the 1980s anymore.
Hey, they were really the charm there for a while. I don't even.
There you go.
Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I would say the top 3 things that I do to stay awake is communication with friends, family, and other drivers. Would be my number one. That is a really big thing, especially with the cell phones. You can do conference calls. So I'll have
more than one friend. I don't have 2 people that want to talk to me, especially if somebody else.
I pay people. So,
Oh, you pay? I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. No, but I'll have 2 or 3 people on the phone with me.
I can just schedule them, and say, okay, this is your 3 hours. If I call you, I'll pay you $1 an hour.
There you go.
Maybe I have to.
But no, I'll have a conference call going, and we'll just have a big group discussion.
That gives me shivers.
But it keeps me awake. It keeps us, and then we're all joking and picking on each other and laughing. We have fun. But
my phone rings, I get the little. But
yeah, it's usually me ringing everybody else.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
But that would be my number one thing is just communication.
Yeah, that's a big help.
Number 2, is just rolling the window down, turning the radio up, like I said, pulling over, getting out, walking around the truck.
Acknowledging that you're tired.
Yeah. Trying to do something to break the monotony.
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, I'm just going to get out and walk around the truck 4 or 5 times, get a little exercise.
Right.
And give my eyes a break from staring at the road, staring at traffic. Because I'm like you, I like to drive at night where there's not a whole lot of traffic.
Right.
And so you can do that relatively safely for the most part. It's rush hour. You're not going to pull over and start walking around your truck. You know.
Well, yeah.
But number 3 thing that I do is snacks, gum, chips, candy, things like
Anything
that.
to
Yeah,
ruin the monotony of.
just to keep yourself doing something,
You know.
to keep your brain focused a
Right,
little more.
right.
Yeah. So
That's good.
but-
You got another one left.
what's that?
You had 3. You said 3.
That was 3.
Communication.
Getting out and walking
Oh,
around.
getting out and walking around. I thought that was all bunched together with the eating thing.
You just want to hear me say I slapped myself.
I know. Well, I thought that would be. I'd like to see other drivers out there slapping themselves. You know.
See, a whole bunch of people are going to watch this podcast. They're all going to be driving at night and going, bam, bam. Hey, it really
All
works.
these Continental drivers out running around slapping themselves. Oh God, they're gonna think we're crazy.
The funny thing is like you said it, and I'm like going, oh wow, I've done the same.
All right.
Well,
That's
this has been great, Deborah. You've been a treat. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
We've had a lot of fun.
I had
here.
a great time.
We covered a good bit of stuff.
Yes.
If you have any other questions or you find yourself getting fatigued and you don't know what to do, reach out. Reach out to a family member, a friend, dispatcher. There is somebody to contact at your company 24/7. But
Not
first,
just to talk to them, but to let them know you might be
But
stopped.
first and foremost, figure out a safe place to get pulled over and get your rest. And stay safe out there. Thanks for joining
Bye.
us.